Emmanuel Macron, the president of France, is seeking forgiveness, not for something that he did, but for a genocide that happened 27 years ago. The French president is visiting Rwanda. Today he admitted that France had a role to play in a genocide that killed 800,000 Rwandans in 1994. But why is Macron expressing regret now? Because he wants to make Africa a key part of his foreign policy. Our next report tells you more about Macron's pivot to Africa.
Only those who went through that night can perhaps forgive, and so could give us the gift of forgiving ourselves. Dibuka, dibuka, dibuka.
Rwandans have waited for this since 1994. It took 27 years for a French president to seek forgiveness from Rwanda. This speech by Emmanuel Macron is a reset. In April 1994, around 800,000 people were slaughtered in just 100 days. France was accused of backing those who oversaw this genocide. For years, Paris has denied this charge. But Macron now wants to turn a page. He wants to rebuild ties with Rwanda. He has sent an ambassador after 6 years, but stopped short of delivering a full apology. Nonetheless, the Rwandan leadership welcomed the French president's statement.
The president has just made an important statement at the Kigali Genocide Memorial. This was a powerful speech with a special meaning for what is taking place now and which will resonate well beyond Rwanda. His words were something more valuable than an apology.
Since taking office in 2017, Macron has made Africa a major part of the French foreign policy. His focus goes beyond former French colonies. Throughout the month of May, France has paid special attention to Africa. It began with an international conference to support the Sudan. France gave the Sudan a bridge loan worth $1.5 billion to cover the debt it owed to the International Monetary Fund, and worked to raise a donation worth $2 billion from the United Kingdom, the United States, the European Union, and others. The very next day, Macron hosted around 24 African heads of state for a summit. The leadership of the World Bank and the IMF were also in the room. Together, they discussed how Africa's debt and post-pandemic recovery can be managed. The outcome was a restructuring of African debt through a combination of grants and funding. Macron is now on an important tour of Africa. He is trying to strengthen ties with the continent. After Rwanda, he will travel to South Africa. Macron is scheduled to meet South African President Cyril Ramaphosa. The French president wants to support Ramaphosa's efforts to boost vaccination in Africa. Macron's proactive engagements with the region could extend the French sphere of influence. What could hamper his efforts are his growing domestic challenges. Bureau Report, World is One.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.